Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to today's panel. It's E's Front Five, and many of you probably already know, but the Front Five, there goes my cards, already. The Front Five is a biannual docuseries that follows, thank you, some of the most influential people at New York Fashion Week and in this industry in general. We've got an incredible cast, so I'd like to just take this moment to introduce you guys to them. So right here with me, I have Halima Aden. You guys know who she is. You have been reshaping this industry. She has been in Sports Illustrated, the swimsuit edition. You've been in British Vogue. You have just achieved so much in your career already. It's honestly an honor to sit next to you. And then we have Lily Aldridge. This lady, she pretty much needs no introduction. I mean, you have covered every magazine we've ever seen. You have worked with all of the most incredible photographers. Now you are a CEO of your own perfume line, and we're going to talk about that, so that it's really exciting. Then we have Luna Blaze over there. She is an actress. You guys, we could give it up. Yeah, like, let's give it up. Luna Blaze, you have been an actress since you're 13 years old. You're now almost 18 years old. You've been in some of the biggest shows. You're now on NBC Manifest. That's super exciting. So give it up for Luna. Then we have Kim Shui, and she's a part of a new wave of designers. You have had some incredible celebrities wear some of your designs, from Kylie Jenner to Cardi B. You tap into your Chinese heritage, which we love, but you also grew up in Italy, which we got to talk about that. So I love that. So give it up for Kim. And we have Jason Wu, last but not least. Over 10 years in this industry, you stick up for body positivity. You are always pushing the envelope, and you have a really exciting collection this year that we cannot wait to see. So we're going to be talking about that and talk about your journey at being an entrepreneur. Give it up for Jason. Yeah, let's talk about entrepreneurship. Kim, I know that, yeah, as I mentioned, you are Chinese. You have these awesome designs that literally stop people in their tracks when they see them. But you also did grow up in Italy, so I want to talk about how you bring in your cultural influences into your designs.
Is this mic already?
Yes, this mic is on.
I mean, I'm wearing all of my designs too, but I think, I use a lot of the colors, the fabrics, and silhouettes in my work. So I'll kind of combine them and collage them in a certain way where I combine my cultural upbringing all together. So I really think there's like a big collage element in my work.
And how do you keep getting inspired by other cultures that you're around? Do you incorporate those new things into your designs as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, I'll always keep my eyes peeled and open, whether, I'm walking down the street, or, if I'm speaking to someone or I see something like an art piece that I really like that I think really inspires me, or architecture, or when I go back to Italy, and my family just moved to Vietnam, for example, so when I'm there, I kind of look at what's around me too, and like figure out how I can incorporate that as well into my work.
And sticking to culture, Halima, you have been able to just so confidently dive into this fashion industry, but staying true to who you are. You were one of the first, or if not the first, to wear hijab in Sports Illustrated, in British Vogue. Talk to me about that, about how you decided to just take the road less traveled and to just pave your own way.
Okay, well, how many of you have ever been the first? Whether that's the first in your family to go to college, the first in your family to first in anything. Okay, say it proudly. Today's about confidence. There you go. There you go. I've had a lot of firsts in my life. I was the first Muslim homecoming queen at my high school, the first Muslim hijab-wearing girl for Student Senate at my college, and then I was the first Miss Minnesota USA contestant to wear a hijab and burkini, and then I became the first hijab-wearing model thanks to IMG, and then that has allowed for other girls in my community I feel like the first is also about opening that door so people could rush through it. Do you know what I mean? It's not about one and done. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4. And so common that it's so normal. Like now it's like not even a conversation, it's not shocking to see a hijab wearing model. It's not shocking to see a hijabi on a panel. It's not shocking to see a hijabi as a cover star, you know? And that's my goal, is to normalize the fact that yes, I wear the hijab, and yes, I wear it proudly. It's my crown, it's my identity, but I'm also so proud to be a 21-year-old girl who just loves fashion.
Yeah. Truly so inspiring. I love that. Lily, now that we're talking about entrepreneurship, you have transitioned from being an in front of the camera model, entertainer, to now the big boss CEO. Tell me about your fragrance that you're launching here at Fashion Week this month. What's it like going from in front to now behind as a CEO?
It's very exciting. I mean, I love being a model. I enjoyed it. It's so much fun. But to create something that you love and be the boss and put your touches on it, and when you're promoting it, it's coming from the heart because you work so hard on it and you know what went into it. And I have a whole new respect now for people that create and put their heart and souls into their jobs, my fellow friends who are designers, and just how much goes into it. You don't realize that until you start creating and doing it on your own, and the support that all my friends have been giving me during this process, because I literally have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just doing it one step at a time, and learning from my mistakes and learning from others, and it's just been amazing.
What's your first fragrance called?
My first fragrance is called Haven, and it is a rose peony musk.
Hey, can we get? Is that in the party
Gorgeous.
favor today?
It's in the party favors. You get one, you get one, you get one. But it's really exciting. You just pray that somebody likes it. My mom bought one, so I know one bottle sold. One bottle at a time.
We'll all go buy one after this to support. Jason, you are no stranger to being a business owner, to making your own designs. You've been in this game for a while. So I want to know, how have your priorities changed as a business owner over the course of your career?
First of all, is that a nice way of saying I'm the oldest one on this board? Because
Listen, I wasn't
proudly
saying
wearing
that.
As the granny of this board.
Asian don't raisin. You will never be old.
There ain't no raisin up in here.
Thank you.
However, what was the question again?
Well, how have your priorities changed over the course of your career?
Yeah, I think it has. It's, I was really nervous when I was in my 20s, nervous, foolish, cocky, all at the same time. Pretty bad combination, but terrible student. But, I thought I could conquer the world. But also insecure at the same time. I think anyone that's, been young, which everyone has been through it, And, when I started my business when I was 23. And so, getting, thrusted into this industry of craziness and not really knowing that much and trying to play along and pretending, at the same time, I always was really deep down inside very insecure. And now what's changed now that I'm 36 is that, I've been through it. I feel a lot more confident. I still have my insecurities, but my priority is what matters to me and the people I work around, that work with me, that put their heart and soul into the work, I realize that not everyone is always going to be a fan, and that's okay. And that I no longer, my happiness is no longer dictated by everyone else's opinion. And I know that sounds cliche, but it really does ring true for me in that it's actually not that long ago that I was always in pins and needles for reviews and kind of one Xanax away from being okay, I was a hot mess. And I kind of, went through the highs and the lows and the okays to now where I feel like I'm really I feel good.
Sticking with you, Jason, we're going to talk about social issues as well, but it was interesting you were mentioning that, you were self-conscious, but right now you are one of the biggest advocates for body inclusivity, body positivity, and for a really long time, a lot of designers fell short of including all types of body sizes in their designs. So what inspired you to include everyone into your designs?
Yeah. A really good friend of mine actually owned a brand called Eloquy, and he I just knew it. He's one of my closest friends, and he was like, "Do you want to do a collection for Eloquy?" And I was like, "Okay." I was like, why not? And you know, it's a collection that range from $80 to $200. You know, sizes 14 up, and I said, you know what, let's do it. It's fine. And to me, it's like it's just about bringing what I do to what they established already, a platform they've established already. You know, I didn't look at it as a challenge. I looked at it as an opportunity, and that it was something that allowed my work to reach a broader audience. You know, one of the first things I ever done in the beginning of my career was doing a collaboration with Target. You know, being a designer in luxury price point, it was my first time doing something at a really affordable price. And this year they brought back 20 of their most, their best collaborations. I was very lucky to be one of them. I have a collection coming out at Kohl's by Christmas. You know, everything under $100.
Yes.
With the entire size run, everything from 0 to 22. So, you know, and that hasn't, you know, I can continue to turn out couture creations, but I can also be able to offer my point of view to a broader audience, and that makes me feel really great.
Thank you. Like, I think every woman could be grateful for what you're doing in the
Yeah,
industry.
it's not always, you know, it's not just about size, race, or anything. Sometimes it's about price. It's just about, when you grow up to be different, you always feel excluded. And as an immigrant, I was for a long time in my life. And now I feel like, I should be able to contribute and enrich other people's lives through what I do.
All right, Luna, you have been a businesswoman since you were a young teen, which is really incredible, and you have been able to navigate this world that involves social media and people tweeting about you and Instagramming you and DMing you and Insta-living you. I was on your Insta Live literally last night. I was like, hey, give me a shout out. Like, that's the biggest thing. But now that you are almost 18 years old, how have you been able to navigate your industry and stay true to who you are?
Well, I mean, exactly like what you just said, like with social media and right now in this day and age just being so intense and everyone literally having their eyes on you 24/7, you just have to stay true to yourself and you can't hide really. I mean, nothing is kind of private anymore. But, staying true to yourself, and especially with me because I'm young and I have a younger audience and I also have an older audience and I have people who watch the show and people who know me from, social media. It's everybody is always watching you, and I never want to fake a persona or just have someone think, or someone, my worst fear is to have someone like meet me in person being like, oh, you're like completely different in person than you are online. Like that's my like worst fear. Like, because that's so awful, when having, especially for me, having this big platform to share my voice and share what I want for the world and who I am, I just have to stay 100% always.
And it's funny because I was Insta stalking you last night, and I fell into the rabbit hole, and I know literally your entire life. I'm like, she's really authentic. And I met you a couple times this week, and you were freaking out about the rundown. I was like, how do you even know? How would you know this commoner like me? But like, you post about your family, you post about your dad and your mom and your animals, and I'm like, I literally followed your mom and your dad now. Like, that's how open she is. And her mom's out there instaing like, I'm talking about my daughter and she's going off to college. I know too much about you now. Yes, but yeah, so I love that you've stayed like truly really grounded.
It's important.
It is. And with staying grounded, Kim, you do influence like your culture and everything like that into your designs, but you've also worked with big brands like Urban Outfitters. You designed for Fitbit. What did it mean to you to have those big names come on board and support you and want you to design with them?
I think it was amazing. So Urban, they had found me on Instagram, and then one of the buyers had reached out and was like, we want to do an outerwear collaboration with you. And for me at that time, like I started with a range of outerwear that was very expensive. So I wanted to reach an audience where maybe they wanted an item that they wanted they wanted a coat or a jacket and they couldn't afford it. So I really liked that collaboration for me. And then for Fitbit, it was also the same. I think it was a partnership via the CFDA, and that was really exciting for me because it was kind of an unexpected collaboration. I think their audience is different from mine too, so I liked that there was this the merging of tech and fashion for me for that.
And Lily, not only are you CEO, model, entrepreneur, philanthropist, you are a wife, you are a mother. What kind of example are you trying to set for your 2 young children while being a modern mom?
Being a mom is honestly the best thing that's ever happened in my entire life. Obviously, my daughter and son are everything in my whole world. And my daughter is my best friend. I mean, I love her so much. And I bring her around the world with me and I teach her the things I'm doing. And I talk to her about why mommy is going to St. Jude's Hospital to raise money. And, you know, probably the proudest moment of my life, literally, is this year for my daughter's birthday. A big part of me, if you don't know me, I love giving back. It's we have huge platforms, and giving back is so important because we're so blessed, and it would be wrong not to give back. So teaching that to my children is very important. And this year for my daughter's birthday, I said, would you be okay if mommy got you everything on your list? A Fitbit was on it, so I'm like screaming. I'm so excited about Fitbit. And you ask your friends to bring $5 and you can pick a charity. And she picked a charity. She picked our local children's hospital and she raised $50. And I mean, you could have, the waterworks that were happening at my house, how proud I was. And we went to the hospital and donated it. And like, she was so proud, and she like saw that, you know, saw what was happening and how good it felt to give back. So that to me was one of the proudest moments of my career, my momhood, my everything.
I love that you're already teaching your children that. Like, we need to do that more. Like, tell our children.
It's important, and they love it. Like, she loved it in her little face. She was so proud of her accomplishment. And, you know, I spoiled her. She got, like, a mountain of things. You know, she was fine. But, like, that lesson was priceless.
That's amazing. And you're also really passionate about sustainability. I know that that's, like, one of the focuses for your new fragrance line. So do you, like, I mean, I'm sure you live and breathe about being sustainable. So do you like influence your family with that?
We don't litter. Where do you put the trash? In the trash can. Yes, I think sustainability and teaching your kids and teaching younger generations and using your platforms to educate people. I learned about recycling and hybrid cars from people I looked up to when I was a teenager. I've driven a hybrid car forever, and honestly, like, Giselle, I looked up to, and she would always talk about that, and she influenced me, and now I'm influencing others because of what I learned. And my line, I really wanted sustainability to be a factor. And how many of you order from like Net-a-Porter or Barney's or Target or anywhere, and they're just, you order a box, and then it's in a box, and it's wrapped in plastic, and you open the box, and it's in a box. Not only is it annoying as F, but like, it's so impractical. So I really wanted to try to stop that, and hopefully other brands will pick up on that, and we can create less waste.
Yeah, less waste.
You know?
Less waste. Here, we want to keep on staying on this planet that we are renting right now. Less waste. Okay, and you spoke a lot about influence, and Halima, you are one of the most influential people right now. I mean, when people see you, I think young women can say, if she can do that, I can do that. If this person can do that, I can do that. How does it feel to represent your culture?
Oh my gosh. I'm so like, it's been a great New York Fashion Week for me. I remember my first ever New York Fashion Week experience and being so like nervous, and like I binge watched America's Next Top Model for 2 weeks, prepared for a snake and all the above, and that didn't happen, and then I was a little bummed. But then I remember thinking, okay, I don't know what a career as a hijab wearing model will be like, but then to come back and to see that it's so common, and girls are messaging me. Actually, my girls are like taking over. They're like, sit down, retire, we got this. So that's been my proudest accomplishment, is to see the young girls in my community, you know, because I mean, how many of you could pick up a magazine and find somebody who looks like you? That's something that everybody should have, and that's something I didn't have growing up. I didn't have anybody I could look up to or relate to, whether that means my refugee background or somebody I could look up to as a role model who, does wear the hijab, is proud of it, and is also very much like, I'm still a Minnesotan, so that's part of my identity. So I have all these things that make up who I am, that encompass who I am as Halima, and I had nobody growing up to look up to. So to be that person for the little girls in my family, the little girls in my community, has been amazing. But another thing I'm now realizing is it's not just Muslim girls who are DMing me. It's also parents who are either Christian or like, who don't look nothing like me, but they're like, you're making modesty look cool, and thank you, because I want my daughters to know that they have that option too, like less is more sometimes and more is more sometimes, so that was really exciting for me to see. And then also connecting with people, like little girls in Wisconsin saying, okay, I love the fact that you still live in Minnesota because you don't need to move to New York, sorry New York, to be successful. And so that's been exciting.
Have you ever questioned, like now being so big in this industry, did you ever question your values or your foundation? Was that ever shaken up?
Kind of like Luna. I think, by the way, shout out to Luna's mama. She's over there.
Yeah, there she is. I saw you on Instagram.
There you go. We are your biggest fangirls, by the way.
Yes.
But how incredible. I think a strong mama bear is fundamental. You are a strong, powerful mama bear, and you're showing your daughter that mama's a CEO. Mama is going to get these coins. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Period. So I think that's incredible. And I have a very strong, powerful African mama bear who keeps me so grounded that I don't even have the choice to stray. I really don't. I remember coming home and bringing my Vogue Arabia cover, and I'm like, look at this! Like, it's never happened before. And she was like, okay, don't forget to wash the dishes. And I was shooketh, you know what I mean? Shook. Because I'm like, wow, my friend's parents would have been, okay, it's a block party. This is a big celebration. But nope. And so she taught me so much. She taught me that, especially now, I have to be really careful because luxury is not my background. I'll be honest. She is such a powerful woman. She raised my brother and I in a refugee camp in Kenya, moved to America, proud, single mama, strong. And she wanted me to go to college and follow a more conventional life. So when I was like, I'm going to go model, she was like, oh, no, you won't. You're going to be a doctor, lawyer, or a teacher. And then my grade said, absolutely not. I'm joking. But the way I got her to approve is to show her that I'm not changing who I am for anybody. I'm not going to enter the industry and conform. I'm going to be myself because I think you are your best self when you stay true to who you are. Do you know what I mean? And I think people can read when you're pretending. So I think for me, it's always kept me in line, and it reminded me of my fundamental values. And even today, I try to be mindful of the brands I work with. I try to be very mindful of the things I post. And I also, kind of like Jason, I did not come from luxury. I'm rocking Zara, Forever 21, because I think you can combine a little lugs. You know what I mean? So showing girls and I post my photos without makeup. I try to keep my Instagram as organic as I can because yes, it's fashion, but this is not how we woke up today. We had an entire team styling us, hair.
What are you talking
makeup.
about?
You know
I
what I
slept
mean?
with my makeup on though, so I did wake up like. She gets me over there. No, thank you. That's awesome. Power to the parents who have raised.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes.
Luna, when you were on Fresh Off the Boat, your character Nicole had a impactful coming out moment, and it shaped that season.
Yeah.
What was your responsibility to represent the LGBTQ community?
It was insane. It was really crazy. I was so first when all the producers and our amazing showrunner told me about this, it was kind of just it was kind of crazy to me because number one, to even say are you all right with this, I was like, of course I'm all right with this. This is amazing. This is an incredible opportunity for me. And
just to have a voice. And honestly, like it was one of the best experiences I'll ever have. And just to appropriately represent the LGBTQ community and to feel welcomed in the LGBTQ community, because it is not a force to be reckoned with. I'm just letting you know, it is not. And I had to educate myself because I would never want to step into something not knowing what I was getting myself into, and especially being on an ABC show, a Latina, a 16-year-old LGBTQ living in the south of Florida on a television show in the 90s. It was something that just not a lot of people understood, and definitely how the response was just incredible. And for people to tweet me and DM me and message me just being like, your character Nicole helped me come out to my parents, is just like so impactful, and I was very, very honored. Mm-hmm. So all of you guys you're all so humble. You guys are paving your own waves. You guys are literally changing things daily, and you have millions of followers, like millions of people.
No, y'all have to give me a shout out because I don't have that.
Well, maybe you're almost at the million status, but so many people look up to you guys. So I want to talk about, your celebrity lifestyles. Lily, at what point did you realize that you had influence and that the things that you do could change the way people think, the way people walk, the way people talk, the way people live life?
I don't know if it's like when I noticed it, but I think it's with social media is you start engaging with so many people and you realize how many, like you're saying, people thanking you and your fans are reaching out to you and mentioning moments that inspired them and stuff like that. And to me, when I start hearing words like inspired, or, when I do something good and a mom comments like, you're such a good role model for my daughter, I'm like crying, like what a wonderful thing for a mom to say to somebody in the spotlight, and trying to lead by example. And of course, none of us are perfect. I'm far from it. But to try and be a good person and give back and showcase that and the importance of that to people following me, I think is important, because then hopefully some of them will be inspired to do the same. I think all that kind of stuff is very important.
And Jason, you have designed for the biggest celebrities out there. I mean, Michelle Obama is in your designs, Reese Witherspoon, Julianne Moore. I mean, that's just to name a few, and they're huge. Who was the first celebrity to get in your threads?
I have to say, one of the first, actually, the first person to ever wear me was Kerry Washington, and I remember it was like 2000. And wait, 2000 when? Oh, 2007, and it was like my first collection, and we got a call. It was like, Kerry Washington would like to have you make a dress for her for Cannes. And I was like, what's Cannes? And second one, I was like, okay, let's see if she can come in. And then I was just like, I was like, so like whatever, Anyway, so I met her then. And she is still one of my biggest supporters, and we remain to be really great friends. But I've seen her rise in her career, and she's seen my more minuscule version, and it's about the relationships in this industry, right? I met Kerry over 10 years ago. Diane Kruger is somebody I was also collaborated with a lot. Lily Aldridge, don't know who she is.
I'm not sure.
I love her. Lily Aldridge, somebody that I've always, known for a very, very long time. We actually met at parties first. And we're like, oh, we should work together. She's like, back at you. And then we actually really did, And it's like, I think the industry is really about a lot of loyalty and relationship. And a lot of people don't see that for fashion because it seems quite shallow. But it isn't. It's not all the time. It's really, we're just a community just like everybody else, and we try to help each other out and keep each other up And I think that's something that, I think I would like to say about the fashion industry. That's, is the number one most misconstrued thing is that, we just care about the flashes and everything else. Deep down, we're all trying to do our thing, work really hard, and make it in our own very way. And that, we are a community that actually has each other's back.
You set the bar really high for yourself when you're starting out the gate. Kerry Washington, that's awesome. Kim, you've been on Forbes 30 under 30 list, no big deal. Tell me about that moment when you first saw a celebrity wearing your designs.
So my first collection, I started out with V files. So at that time, I was working for a different designer, but I was kind of figuring out like what should I do? I really want to do my own thing. And what I'd done was I created like a 15-piece capsule collection, and V files at the time, you just upload your work online. And I never really expected anything. I just, I shot like a mini lookbook, with what I could, and put the photos online. And then I got like a DM, and they were like, "Hey, can you like jump on a call? Like, we've shortlisted you." And so they picked a couple, like 3 designers to show during New York Fashion Week. And so that was like my first time showing, and I was so excited because I kind of didn't expect the opportunity. And the first celebrity to wear it was Kylie Jenner. So she came to the show, and they were like, "Oh, they were like, someone's coming to the show. We need to like pick out a couple of items for her to like wear." So they picked out this like lace jumpsuit, and she ended up wearing it, and she sat front row in my garment. And for me, that was like my first time. I was like, "Oh my God, what?" So that was really exciting for me. And then, up until now, it's kind of just been like, it's been learning so many things along the way. Really learning by doing. I think that's what I've been doing. And then she recently, she bought from our e-store again. She bought like a bunch of items, and then there was a mother-daughter Stormy Kylie look. So it was great. And then her friends started DMing me like, "Oh, I love your pieces. Like, can we get this? Can we get that?" And I was like, "Okay, it's amazing." Yeah, so she's been supporting like, up until now too, which is amazing.
So when you found out it was Kylie, did you like scream a little, pee your pants a little, jump up and down?
Well, then I was like, I don't know. Like, I was like, what? Okay.
You had to play it cool.
Yeah, but now it's like I get so excited when I see, or if my friend sends me a photo of like someone walking down the street like wearing an item of mine, I'm like, "Oh my God, can you send me that photo?" Or if I see someone wearing it, or if people tag me in one of, they're wearing something and they tag me, I always get excited. I'm like, "This is so great. Like, I love that." Yeah.
Halima, you mentioned that you didn't see a lot of women growing up who looked like you, who you can really identify with, but who would you say is one of your biggest inspirations?
Do we have time?
We got time.
Because I have a list.
We don't got that much time.
Oh my gosh. I would say I love, and I used to kind of be like, "Oh, why did I do that? I should have played it cool." But I'm like a fangirl. Like, even when I met you, I was like, okay, Erin's being really humble, but like, you guys know on Snapchat.
The rundown.
Whoa. And that's not even it. I just want to know, sis. Because every time I go on YouTube, I'm like, what is this beautiful ad? It's Tresemme, and sis is like, open up packages, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
I got okay hair, all
I
right?
literally walked up to her, and I was like, hi, you don't know me, but I know you.
Girl, I knew who you were.
And wait, this is so funny. I also did that at my first ever fitting, and my first ever show is for Yeezy Season 5, and Kareen put me on. She probably regretted that choice because I literally saw Kim Kardashian. I was like, hi! I grew up with you. Hello. I'm ready for my spinoff. No. But that was so amazing. I love the fact that I can be in this space to like run into cool people. By the way, she smells delicious.
It's that
Absolutely
haven.
delicious. Eric over there is my biggest hype man and stalker. I can't decide. I'm joking though. But like, how incredible is it that we get to do this for a job? Like, that's the part that I'm like, because I'm still, there's that big part of me that's like a small town girl. So every time I bump heads with anybody, I'm like, oh my gosh, like.
I literally feel the same about you. I swear. I'm like, how did I get in this room with all these amazing people? It's always exciting.
And same with the audience. Like, you guys look so delicious. I mean, come through.
So basically, I'm your biggest inspiration. I'm honored. Thank you. And I think we should just end on that note because they're wrapping me up back there. Thank you guys so much for just sharing your insight. Thank you guys. This
Thank
was
you.
awesome.